welcome back to the Beach Bum Bookworm. I am Tiffany. I'm so glad y'all found me again today. But y'all know about cozy mysteries and romance books. And today I'm doing cozy mysteries that make you want to go, eat. They make you want to eat. They make me want to eat. So I'm just here with some suggestions. These are books that either I was scouring my pantry to see if I had all the ingredients for as I was reading, or my stomach's growling, or I'm trying to talk my husband into running to the grocery store for me to get the ingredients. So let's just jump into it. We're talking cozy mysteries that make you want to go, In 3, 2, 1, go. Up, I thought I would start with, for me, what was the most obvious. It's the Spice Isle Bakery Cozy Mystery series. This is by Olivia Matthews. There are 3 books out in it. Unfortunately, I did read that the series is concluded. The first book is called Against the Current, right here. This features Lindsay, and Lindsay and her family own Spice Isle Bakery, which is a West Indies bakery in Brooklyn, in a little Caribbean neighborhood. And the series is so good. Number 1 was one of my favorites of the year when I read it in 2023. So the recipes, the spices that are used, that region of cooking is my absolute favorite. And I could almost smell as they were talking about it. Oh my gosh. This one is definitely one that wanted me, that I was like, I'm not the best baker, but I could give it a try. Oh my gosh. There are 3 books out in this series. Again, it is concluded. I highly recommend it, not only for the recipes, but it was a great series. Next up is the Grilled Cheese Mysteries. This is by Linda Riley. The first book is called Up to No Gooda. So, man, oh man, this one has the distinction of being the only series that I've actually made recipes from. So many of them, I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta find, they made me want to eat chocolate chip cookies, or the bakery items, or the candy, whatever it is. But making it on my own or going to the grocery store, yeah, it's gonna be the grocery store because, yeah. But this one, I have made 2 different sandwiches out of, and I would make all of the sandwiches. They are absolutely delicious sounding. So this series takes place in Vermont, which is probably one of my favorite places for cozy. I feel like we don't see enough of Vermont. Vermont just screams cozy to me. So it takes place in a small town called Belsomdale. And so our main character is Carly, and Carly's husband passed away, and she decides, through the grieving process, that life is short, and she wants to do exactly what she's dreamed of, and she wants to open a gourmet grilled cheese shop. And I highly approve of this message. Oh my gosh. There are 4 books out in this series, and they're like gourmet grilled cheese. It's not your average grilled cheese. So I highly suggest, before you get into this series, to look at the recipes, pick one, and have those ingredients on hand, or you'll be running out to your 24-hour grocery store to get them. I'm doing you a service. Next up is some sweet items. It's the Bakeshop series by Ellie Alexander. There are currently 19 books in this series. The first book is called Meet Your Baker, right here. I love the covers on these. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this features Jules. And Jules, so at the beginning of the first book, she is working on a cruise ship, and her husband is also a chef on the cruise ship. And she feels like through some information that's come out, their relationship needs a little break. And she goes back to her hometown of Ashland, Oregon, and works in her family's bakery called Tort. Oh my goodness. The stuff that is made in Tort. Again, as I said talking about the last series, I haven't made anything, but every time I read one of these, I go to the grocery store and get one of the items that is described in this book. I just don't make it myself. There's also some savory recipes in this series that sound delicious. I highly recommend this series, even if you don't have a sweet tooth. Oh my gosh, the relationships in this series, the way that the town is described, everything about it makes you want to be there and know these characters and just experience it with them. It's amazing. Next up, oh my gosh, it's the Noodle Shop series. by Vivian Chen. Holy moly. Okay, so first book is called Death by Dumpling. This features Lana Lee, and Lana works at her family's noodle shop called Holy Noodles in Cleveland, Ohio. Last time I talked about this series, I think I said Cincinnati. I'm very sorry. I knew it's a C city in Ohio and an Asian district. And oh my gosh, the food that is described. I love Asian food in general. So every time I read this, one of these books, inevitably I suggest to my husband, hey, let's go get Chinese, because it's just the way it's described. It is amazing. This series gets better and better and better. There are currently 10 books out in it. There's an 11th book coming out in April of 2025. The relationship with her significant other in this one is, I love her love interest. I just can't say enough about this series as it progresses. I am loving it. So next up, the Caribbean Kitchen Cozy Mystery Series. This is by Raquel V. Reyes. The first book is called Mango, Mumbo, and Murder. I love the covers on these. They have some of the best color. I just love them. This is set in Miami, Florida, and it features Miriam. And Miriam has one of the coolest professions. She is a food anthropologist. That is so interesting to me. Side note, when I was my freshman year of college, so I knew from a very, very young age that I was going to be in a profession that was of service to others, that helped others, that gave back to the community, something like that. That's just kind of my nature. I get to college, and my first semester, I take Anthropology 101. It was an elective that my advisor put me in, and I fell in love, immediately loved it. I called home and I was like, I'm going to major in anthropology. My parents were like, no, you're not, which sounds like they weren't being supportive. That's how people might interpret it today. They were in the right. I was just having a moment. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be in my profession. It all worked out. But I just remember and I took many more anthropology courses. Absolutely love it. So the idea of a food anthropologist is so interesting to me. And Miriam is a young mother. She's a mother of a young toddler. Well, she's also young, but she's a mother of a young toddler. And so she has taken some time to be with her son, and her best friend talks her into doing this Cuban American cooking show on this public access television, like a PBS. And wow, every time I read this, I'm like, we gotta go eat Cuban. When there's I live in Florida, and so there are a lot of amazing restaurants to get your fill, and holy moly, the recipes in this, it's almost mouth-watering. Thinking about it now, I can feel my gland. Oh my gosh, so good. There are currently 3 books in this series, and I will tell you one thing I want to say about this series. This series also has, to me, one of the most hated characters in Cozy Mysteries. Miriam's mother-in-law, she's fiction, so I can say this. I do not like her. I don't like her. I'm being very nice. There. She is hard to even read. She just makes you just so mad for Miriam. Not just the way her mother-in-law treats her, but the way her husband the whole thing. Okay. Anyways, go in with that knowledge. Next up is the Hailey Powell series. This is by Lee Hollis. Book 1 is called Death of a Kitchen Diva. There are 17 books in this series. So this features, of course, Hailey Powell. This takes place in Bar Harbor, Maine. She writes a food and cocktail column for her newspaper in town. And I love appetizers. I love charcuterie, kind of like just snacky kind of food vibes like that. I would eat appetizers over a meal anytime. I don't know. I just will. Let's explain myself to you. I'm just kidding. Okay, so not only does she give you some appetizers, oftentimes she'll give you a cocktail. And when she is writing her newspaper column, she always writes like really sweet anecdotes that go along with when she came up with the recipe, what was going on in her life, or a time when they used the recipe for like a special occasion, like a graduation or something like that. The same thing with her cocktails. And it just feels so, you feel so immersed in the story when she does that. But I enjoy a good appetizer and I enjoy a good cocktail. So I always, when I'm reading these, like try to jot down the name of what she's making. And some of them sound so good. I have one more series and it is a good one. Okay, it is the Kebab Kitchen series by Tina Kashian. Book 1 is called Hummus and Homicide. There are 5 books in this series. This features Lucy, and Lucy is an ex-lawyer, and she works at her family's Mediterranean restaurant. And the different foods that are described in this book. First of all, I love hummus. And so they describe having like a hummus bar, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But just I love Mediterranean food, and the fresh pita and just the for the recipes alone, I recommend the Kebab Kitchen series. And again, have I made any? No. Have I went out and bought the stuff made up for me when I read this series? In every single book. This is Editing Tiffany, and I could not let this video go up without one more because I missed it in my notes, and it just cannot happen. I cannot put up a Cozy Mysteries that made me want to go without including the Deep Dish Pizza series by Mindy Quigley. The first book is called 6 Feet Deep Dish. This features Delilah, and Delilah moves to Geneva Bay, Wisconsin, to open a gourmet pizza shop. And let me tell you, first of all, Geneva Bay is perfect for me. Wisconsin, I love for cozies because that means we'll probably get some winter stuff, and that's the way I want to experience my winter is through books. Number 2, Geneva Bay is this big touristy area, which means some of my favorite things in cozies: events, festivals, fairs, you name it. They have to do things to bring in the tourism, so it makes me so happy. On top of all of this, Geneva Bay is known to be a mobster's hideaway, which is so cool. I love mobster stuff as long as it's not like real violent. So this is perfect for me. This series has gotten better and better each time. There are 3 books currently out. The 4th book, Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Pizza. Sleep in Heavenly Pizza. The 4th book that will be coming out is Sleep in Heavenly Pizza. It's all gourmet pizza. It sounds so good. Every time they, you cannot read this book without wanting pizza. I dare you. I dare you. Anyways, I had to pop in for that last one. All right, now let me know what your favorite cozy mystery food cozies are. Not just what like that you enjoy, but you enjoy them and they make you want to eat the recipes. They make you want to try the food in the books, make you want to run out to the grocery store, to wherever, and get these items. Let me know in the comments below. Give me a big thumbs up for this video, and let's see, for an emoji, what is your favorite food? Yeah, let me see your favorite foods. And as always, may all your future reads be 5 stars. Bye.